If you got a Casio F-91W and told it you were going out and it needed to smarten itself up, this is what you would get. This is the Casio A158WE. Clocking in at about $35 or £25, we have got a pretty slick little Casio. For the money, you're getting a watch that is 36mm wide, 33mm in height, and 8mm in thickness, so nice and thin watch. It weighs about 44 grams. It's a resin case, stainless steel bracelet. It's water resistant, so not the best on water resistance. 7-year battery life, and a resin crystal too. In terms of features, it's pretty much the same as the F-91W, so we have got the time in 12 or 24-hour mode. We've obviously got the day and date there. One alarm, a stopwatch. We've also got the same terrible backlight too, so no improvements there. It's probably the same module actually. Let's have a look. 593, I believe that is the same module that is in the F-91W, so you know what you're getting when you're getting this watch. Now, I believe there are two variants on this watch. There is one that has a black faceplate and the gold faceplate. I have owned both at one point or another. I prefer the gold faceplate, but I think the black faceplate is a little bit more versatile, so it kind of depends how you want to wear it. I don't have a lot of clothes in my wardrobe that complement the colours of this particular style. The black one would be much better for me, but this is the one that I prefer still. At this price point, you're not really short of options on Casios when it comes to stainless steel bracelets and resin cases that are painted to look metal. There's quite a few choices. I'll show you some alternatives to this at the end of the video. But you're probably going to pick this one based on its looks more than anything else. It's not particularly feature-packed, but it is quite a good-looking watch, and it's quite slim. And I like the design of this one. I think sometimes Casio can go a little bit overboard, and there is a lot of writing on the faceplate, but it's all quite small. I mean, I've got aging eyes now in my mid-40s, and I can't necessarily read it all without my reading glasses on. But that's a good thing, because sometimes they're huge, lettering's all massive and things like that, but that isn't the case here. And in this particular colour, I think this design, there's something really classic about this one. I feel like this is the kind of watch that somebody that drives an E-Type Jag might wear. And you might sort of scoff at that, but I've seen this watch online and people have put it on a sort of vintage leather strap and it looks absolutely brilliant. And so we've got this fairly stylish watch that has a very basic feature set, but the feature set is quite good. I think the alarm comes in handy. I used to think that a countdown timer would be better than a stopwatch, but recently I've changed my mind on that. I find the stopwatch more useful generally than the countdown timer. The bracelet itself is really slim. I mean, it doesn't feel particularly high quality, but it fits the kind of price point for the watch. I don't love this clasp mechanism that Casio use on these watches. So this is the clasp mechanism where it hooks over the bar like this, and then it presses in. And you can adjust that by lifting this part up and sliding this up or down. Mine's got a little bit of movement in it already, which isn't great. I've broken quite a few of these clasps in my time, and it's not the best. You always feel like you're one slight knock away from it being broken. On the wrist, we've got a very sleek watch, very, very slim profile at just over 8mm. So it's going to take a shirt sleeve nicely over the top or any kind of jumper or anything like that. You'll have no problems whatsoever there. Looks pretty good on my 6.75-inch wrist. No complaints there. Perhaps a touch on the small side, but it depends how you like your watches. Strap is comfortable. Obviously, I kind of showed you that it's got a little bit of play in it, mine. But generally, all good on the wrist. No problems there. Doesn't catch the hairs on my arms or anything like that. That said, I haven't yet found a watch that does. So maybe I'm just a little bit lucky on that front. Now, I mentioned before that at this price point, there are a few other options you could go for. One of those is the A700. Which I have right here. A700, another very, very slim watch. I don't love the bracelet on this. It does come on a different bracelet. Pretty much the same in terms of its features. But it does have a much more impressive backlight. So if that's important to you, the A700 might be the one for you. If the A700 isn't the right alternative, then I would potentially recommend looking at the A168, which is very much like this watch. It's a little bit chunkier, so it's not quite as slim, and it's got the electroluminescent backlight. It's a lovely watch, actually. I just happen to prefer the slightly slimmer profile of this A158. Final thoughts on this A158. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of competition at this price point. There are a load of different watches. They've all largely got slightly different feature sets. Some have got better lights. Some are slightly thicker. It's going to largely come down to the style, I think, and whether you like the look of this watch. Despite the fact that this has got a very poor backlight, I'm prepared to take the hit on that. I think this is the best looking of the bunch, and I'm including the A168 in that, and I'm including that A700 too. For the price, I think this is about the best sort of dressed up Casio that you can get.